Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories. April Hought was a wonderful wife and mother of 2 kids who she adored very much. She was a very peaceful, loving person and made friends everywhere she went because of her bright smile, according to her family and friends. April worked with local charities and community outreach programs, demonstrated her commitment to bringing about change. She believed in the power of collective effort, ensuring that everyone had a chance at a better life. She also was a wonderful lash technician who enjoyed doing lashes for people and making them feel and look good. That was her art of life.
The most asked questions I get as a lash tech. Let's grow. What are lash extensions? Lash extensions are individual lashes that we apply to each of your natural lashes. These lashes that are applied can either be one individual lash or lash bands to create a fuller. But how long do lash extensions last? On average, a set of lash extensions will last you about 7 weeks. However, if you are getting fill-ins, your set can last you a lot longer. And we suggest our fill-ins every 2 to 3 weeks. Do they pull out your natural lashes? No. They do not pull out your natural lashes, they shed with your natural lash. All of our lashes shed, we will just notice them a lot more when we have extensions on them. We typically lose between 2 to 5 lashes every day. Do they hurt? No. As long as you keep your eyes closed and you're able to relax during your appointments, nothing should hurt. How much do they cost? So depending on where you live and who your lash tech is, the price range will be different. For me personally, my cheapest set is $125, and my most expensive set can get all the way up to about $190. Last question, how long does it take to put them on? This will also depend on your lash tech. However, it typically takes about 2 hours to put on a full set of lashes, on average about 1 hour per eye.
She was married to her best friend, Donovan Hought, who she fell in love with and was very excited when they got married on January 24th, 2020.
What do you think the secret to our relationship has been? Oh no, that's the question. It's
rolling.
rolling.
I'm supposed to answer right now.
Yeah.
Being best friends. That came first. If we weren't friends.
You're so out of breath.
I am out of breath. But honestly, if we weren't friends first, it wouldn't have lasted. Like, that's been the base of the whole relationship, the foundation, that we were friends. And so even through the bullshit, we can joke around and maintain that friendship. I mean, it's what kept us through our separation, honestly. So
Yeah.
being friends is important.
He really is like my bestest friend ever.
The bestest.
The best friend I could ever ask for. And I married him.
They shared a son together, and they all became a loving family. Even though their relationship wasn't perfect and they had their shares of ups and downs, they managed to stay together. Later into their marriage, she wanted a divorce because she realized that their marriage wasn't working anymore. Sadly, on July 28, 2023, April and Donovan got into a heated argument in the bathroom. Their 7-year-old son heard the altercation. He listened, and then he proceeded to look under the door, and that's when he saw his mother with a plastic bag over her head. He then ran back to his room, and later the father told him to go check on his mother in the bathroom. And that's when he found his mother lying on the floor with a plastic bag over her head. 911 was then called. At this moment of time, the husband, Donovan Hought, is not a suspect. April mother, Jamie Dickinson, wants justice because she believed that her daughter did not do that to herself. She honestly believed there was foul play.
I'm making this post to make people aware of the situation that we have at hand. Let people come up with their own conclusions, since many people think that my actions might be unjustified. However, this is my child, and I'm going to fight for justice for her. Her name is April Lynn Holt. On July 28th, she woke up, drank her coffee, journaled as usual, enjoying her peaceful morning, hugged and kissed her 7-year-old son, Denzel, and her husband then went into the bathroom and began to argue and fight. My 7-year-old grandson put his ear to the door and heard his parents fighting, and he looked underneath to see both of their feet. He then listened some more, but he couldn't understand what they were saying, and so he looked back under the door again, where he saw my daughter laying on the ground. He then ran to his room. His dad shortly after came into his room, and he got him dressed and he fed him. And he then had him go check on his mom. He asked him to go check on his mom, in which he unlocked the door by himself and saw his mom not breathing with a bag over her head on the ground. 911 was then called. We got to the hospital and she had no brain function and no blood flow to her brain. We did not find out about the bag, which was not disclosed to us, for over 6 hours. In that time, her husband had went back to the apartment 2 times, not knowing I don't know what he was doing there. My daughter had requested a divorce 2 weeks prior to her death. On July 31st of 2023, my daughter was pronounced dead, and I want justice. I'm her mom, and I'm gonna get justice. Please help me spread this story.
Jamie also read her daughter's report and gave her thoughts about it.
Last Friday, I received the report that I've been waiting for over 3 months. I was extremely upset, extremely angry when I got the report. My daughter's autopsy, April Holt. And all I'm doing is trying to get justice for my daughter, and even more so after I got this report. And so I just want you to listen. I have 9 points on this autopsy that I have examined thoroughly over and over and over again. And so here's how it goes. And this is the official report, just so you know. I'm not making this up. It tells you that the type of death was suspected. Let me give you a little backdrop. My detective decided to take it upon himself to show up at my daughter's autopsy and give them a backstory of somebody he didn't know anything about, of somebody that he didn't even have the details on this case, because we didn't have all the details on the case until later on. So he took it upon himself to go in there. This is the Nashville Metro Police Department that went in there and told them that the type of death is a suspected. As we go on in her report, they give you 4 points on here. 2 of those points that stand out as a diagnosis is that they first of all did her autopsy after removing her organs, after I gave permission to do an organ donation. They first removed her organs and then they examined them, which I find completely unethical. This is a homicide case, and now you have misconstrued the evidence that could have been what we needed. And so her autopsy was done after they took out her organs, including her lungs and her trachea and things like that, that were not examined until after they were taken out of her body. Number 4 listed on here, which is highlighted, and just in case you wanted to see, they said that my daughter had minor blunt force trauma of the body. It says that her circumstances of death, it says that, and it says it right here, this is what my detective decided to tell them, is that my daughter, descendant, secured the bag around her head. He gave them this information when there's no proof of that at all, and he decided to go in there and give them this information. When you go back down onto the bottom and it says external examination, which I had no clue that an autopsy has so many details, and so I had to go through here and kind of highlight these points. It says there are multiple petechial hemorrhages that extend across the bilateral cheeks. She had her veins, her blood vessels were red, and they were hemorrhaging on her face, which is a sign of smothering or strangulation. And it says right here there are multiple hemorrhages across the bilateral cheeks, and you can look that up yourself. I've sent that to my detective, who I have asked, why is that not taken into account? And so he said he will look into it. Evidence of injury. This is the section on here that says, because I was told, my detective said, well, I didn't see any signs of struggle. So here's where it says there is a puncture wound surrounding her echomyosis within the right fossa. I'm not a medical person, so I'm just a mom. So there are 2 small purple bruises that are on the anterior aspect of her right forearm. There is a puncture wound in the left arm. There is a large purple echomyosis with a 6-centimeter abrasion that extends across the lateral aspect of her left thigh. Multiple small, faint purple contusions are on her lower extremities, on her bilateral lower extremities. showing, first of all, in the first page, it says that she had blunt force trauma. Now we're seeing that she's got bruises all over her body. And then as we go through here, this was just going on about her ribs and her clavicle bone. It says, summary of case, and that's the page that I'm on. It says the summary of case. The descendant had a reported past medical history of alcohol and marijuana abuse. The detective decided to make this statement up completely on his own. Never given this information. My daughter drank wine. And yes, my daughter would take a half a gummy every day of marijuana. I'm not a mom that denies or even is ashamed of what my children do. If they want to have a glass of wine and they want to take half a gummy, if that's going to help them through life, well, then go for it. But to go into an autopsy and tell them that she has a reported, where is it reported? I would love to see that. Past medical history of alcohol and marijuana abuse. There is nowhere stated in any medical record that she has this. He has made that up himself. Again, that's the Nashville Metro Police Department. And then right here, so this is the really interesting part where they decided to say law enforcement was not suspicious of any foul play. Yeah. Went into my daughter's autopsy, who has all of these exterior elements, and says they're not even suspicious of any foul play. And then if you go on, there's another page, and it says part of the requested testing was unable to be performed, and that is because they took my daughter's organs out of her body before she had her autopsy, so they couldn't even do all of their testing. So I immediately filed this paper right here. And what this paper says is it is a request for reconsideration of the manner of death. I have written down here an explanation of how the police have decided to take it upon themselves to tell them what the definition or what her meaning of her cause of death was. And then here is an explanation of the circumstances that surrounded what happened that day, because they didn't decide to inform the people of the autopsy that she was laying on the ground with her soon-to-be ex-husband in there with her, fighting with her before her death.
I'm going to give my thoughts and opinion on this story. I'm with the mother on this. I believe there was foul play. I don't believe her daughter put that plastic bag over her own head. Even though he haven't been charged for this crime, they not consider him as a suspect. They're trying to say that she did it to herself. Unbelievable. As of right now, he has custody of his son. You know why he wants his son with him? Because he know his son knows more. I want y'all to truly give y'all thoughts and opinion on this story here. Be honest. Be very honest. Like I said, I don't believe she done it to herself. April Hall life and legacy stand as an example of how one individual can bring about significant change in their community. While her absence will be deeply felt, the lessons she imparted and the memories she created will forever remain in the hearts of those who knew her. Justice for April Holt. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. I will continue to keep my thoughts and prayer with the family, and I will see y'all in my next video.